How are eCommunications different? So eCommunications are different from traditional written communications because you're thinking about it from a place of electronic speed of a communication and effectiveness. What does that mean? When you're writing a physical report, you're expecting somebody to really hold the piece of paper, scan the information, and look at what that means. E-communication is really there to really give more of a triage of communication. What's beautiful about that is that you can link to other information. So what's different is when you're writing an e-communication, what you're doing is you're thinking in terms of hyperlinks, which is what's the executive summary? And then of those salient points in the executive summary, what might you add as a link to click on relative information? Or it could even be an appendix. But the point is, when you're doing e-communication, you're really thinking about like triage. So for example, if you were to write an executive summary, that would say, here's the headlines, here's what you need to know. But within those headlines, you would have links that are available so that if someone's like, I want to drill down, I want to double click on that topic, and I want to go see what they mean by this, then all the other reports that you have, which are much more detailed than they necessarily need to be in an executive summary, are all linked. What that does is it creates very effective e-communication, because anytime you as an individual want to drill into what's being said, you have all the backup information, the research, the data, including the raw data. So if you're like doing a sales report, you're like, hey, we're doing great this quarter, here's our numbers. But if those were then linked to where you got the source information, a manager might be looking through and say, hey, hang on a second. You didn't include the returns, or there's a liability here that's not been identified in the summary information. So they can catch errors because then they're looking at the details. Now, don't expect someone to look at all those details, but giving them the optionality to do so empowers them to both take the executive summary of what you've written and then drill down so they know exactly the information you're saying and sharing is the most accurate it can be based on the available information inside the organization.